He's a victim. He's a crybaby.
Dana White is there, and he just says to me, "You're out. Get out of here."
I don't give a shit what Ariel Helwani thinks.
Fair enough.
Who the f*** is Ariel Helwani?
And historically, when you do battle the UFC, as I've said, the house always seems to win.
It is no secret that there has been a long-standing beef between MMA journalist Ariel Helwani and UFC president Dana White. But just why do these two hate each other so much? Let's break it down from the beginning. Ariel Helwani grew up in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and attended Syracuse University's Newhouse School of Public Communications, where he got a degree in sports journalism in 2004. During this time in college, he hosted a school-sponsored sports radio show where he covered many sports, but really developed his love for MMA. At this time, many people weren't interested in the sport. In fact, it wasn't really considered a sport, as it was considered too brutal and barbaric. After graduating, Helwani worked with HBO, but eventually started his own online platform. In 2009, he launched his weekly online show, The MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, where he would interview fighters and discuss up-and-coming bouts. In 2011, he signed a deal with Fox Sports and worked with them for about 5 years, during which Fox signed a deal with the UFC. In March of 2016, Fox Sports fired Ariel Helwani without providing reason, but Helwani has stated he believes the UFC was behind his termination. The termination came after he hosted an interview with fighter Rory McDonald, where they discussed Rory leaving the UFC, and there were other instances of Ariel Helwani discussing unfair treatment to the fighters and speaking out about fighter pay. At this time, Helwani was no longer working for Fox, but still had the ability to attend UFC events and host interviews. But this all changed on June 4th of 2016 at UFC 199, when Ariel Helwani broke the news that Brock Lesnar would be returning to the UFC and announced Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 2, sharing information on both fights without first notifying or asking permission from the UFC. According to Ariel Helwani, he doesn't think he did anything wrong.
And I try to find the news and get it. So I got the Nate Diaz McGregor news. Well, I was hearing rumblings about Brock Lesnar, and I finally got it confirmed, multiple sources, and so I posted that as well. The last thing anyone should ever do is sit on news. If you have it confirmed, you got to go with it. If you're sitting on it, you're not doing it right.
The UFC had plans to make the announcement themselves at the end of UFC 199 to excite fans and build up the hype, so Helwani's leak of this information angered the organization and specifically Dana White. Helwani was called to the back of the stage to discuss the announcement with Dana White, and after a short conversation, he was removed from the event and stripped of his press credentials.
Right before the main event, a member of the UFC PR staff came to me and said that Dana White wants to speak to you. Michael Bisping was about to fight Luke Rockhold, so we go to the back. Dana White is there, some other members of his team are there, and he just says to me, "You're out. Get out of here. You're done. We don't want you here anymore. Go to Bellator."
From the UFC's perspective, they felt that Helwani intentionally leaked information that he knew they planned to announce themselves and disrespected the organization as a whole. When Dana White was asked about banning Helwani, he stated that Helwani would be able to cover any UFC events he wants online, but he will not be able to hold a press credential again for as long as he is the president of the UFC.
Well, he's a victim. The guy's a victim.
Okay.
He's just one of those. He's a and he's just a big crybaby victim. I got into a beef one day, and he went out on this tour and was crying on TV and crying and getting all the other media guys to feel sorry for him and to run. He's just at the end of the day, he's just not my kind of guy.